5500. That's 702-485-5500. Visit our shop at 1926 North Decatur Boulevard, 89101.
I get myself. You good? Yo, yo, yo. All right. Let's get it. Welcome to My Rap Mentor. This is my first time at the new station. I got a special guest. My boy Mark is over here. Before we get into that, you already know. Follow me on social media, ERIC_STACKZ. Definitely follow us on Facebook, which is the Hot 702.5 app on Facebook Live. You can follow us on the Mixler app too. That's definitely live. So, tell them where you from. Tell them your social media, matter of fact.
Social media is Marcus at Work on Instagram, Facebook. Personal is Marcus D. Miller. Business page is SM Branding and Consulting. LinkedIn, Marcus D. Miller, and pretty much anywhere else.
Good, good. Now, this is your first time on the show, so like I like to tell everybody, the whole purpose of this show, as you may know, is to pick the mind state of, like, you know, successful rappers, influencers, social media people, so on and so on. I want to know, like, where you came from, what inspired you through your success, through your failure, so on and so on. Okay. So, where we going to start? Tell us where you from.
I'm originally from Kansas City, Missouri.
What made you move here?
It wasn't much going on in Kansas City, Missouri.
It don't sound like it. I want to say it.
To be honest, I was like, you know what? I was working overnight stock at Walmart. I was like, I could do this anywhere, bro. So I came to Las Vegas roughly about 16 years ago.
16 years?
And I never visited Vegas before I came. I touched down with everything I owned, and that was it. And I didn't really know anybody in the city. I had to learn the city, learn the environment, learn the structure, figure out how to get some traction, get some stability going on, and that's what kind of led me into what I'm doing today. I don't think I would be doing what I'm doing today if it wasn't for relocating. For
so
sure.
I'm assuming you love it here then, right?
I'm good with Vegas, man. I'm good with Vegas. Everything comes to Vegas at some point.
Yeah. So let the viewers know. Let them know what you do.
So I was considered a social media, a brand strategist.
Sensei.
And going into Sensei.
Social media sensei.
So a brand strategist, I work with a number of corporations and individuals that's trying to expand their brand awareness on and off social media. I cover strategies on how to do that and make an impact with the least amount of costs associated, as well as now I'm going into pretty much keynote speaking for companies, speaking about branding, awareness, and then a little motivation too. So to summarize that, public speaking and brand consulting.
Okay. So, how long you been doing it?
I've been doing that. It's funny because my journey started a little while back.
Matter of fact, yeah. Tell me, like, what inspired? I want to know what inspired you.
What inspired me? So I already had kind of a marketing background. I went to a fine and performing arts school.
Oh, okay.
And my major was graphic design, visual design. So we did, painting, drawing, and graphic design, things like that. So I guess that's technically advertising and marketing, but I didn't really place that at that time. So fast forward out of high school, I basically went into making a social media profile. So I made an Instagram. Not anything dealing with marketing. I was just a fat dude trying to lose weight. And with that, I learned how to tell a story, how to tell a compelling story, how to base that around who I am, my personal ideas, perspective, goals. And then once I was doing that fitness related, I start taking it more seriously going into teaching others once I learned a great deal about how the structure of marketing and advertising work more in depth on the business side.
So, man, that's kind of crazy. So you got in just starting off telling your story. Did you, when you was telling your story, did you do it on accident, or like did you know you have to tell a story at that time, or did it kind of happen?
I was already kind of telling a story, and I knew that was the way. I didn't know exactly to what degree, or a lot of people might know what would work and what they should do, but they struggle, like myself, of trying to understand what practical daily steps they can take to get there. So even though I knew in general, I still had to discover the practical steps, and that went from about 3 years of digging behind the scenes in communities people don't even know of, in order to kind of learn what really works. Because what you're seeing in the foreground is only a fraction of what you need to know to actually make that feasible.
So, what was your first? What was your first? I'll say placement or invitation when you knew like, okay, now this
Like
is
I'm
becoming
onto
legit.
something?
Yeah.
I think when I was doing fitness videos, and then I did one with my oldest daughter, and we did like a video at the park, and we did like push-ups and stuff, and she did push-ups, and she was kind of mimicking what I was doing. And after I did that video, the response of that from like my audience was crazy. Like a lot of the female audience, oh, that's adorable, blah, blah, blah. Oh, you're such a great dad, and blah, blah, blah. I was like, hold up. Everything I done posted since then, you ain't said nothing about.
You don't get the female fan base for
That's
other
what I'm
stuff.
saying. Like what I'm saying. They didn't say nothing about none of the other stuff I'm doing. It said, but once I started doing that, they was just like, you know what I'm saying? Now I was like more getting into like favor with them.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, okay. So now that works. Let me check that on the list. Okay, put that on the side, and then create a list and the structure of what works and what doesn't.
So, I know you wanted to talk about social media marketing, how a lot has changed. So I do want to get in that because I know we can go all day with that. So, like, start off. Well, what's the biggest thing you noticed from opposed to, let's say, a year ago to now?
Oh, wow. That's like
as much as you can. I mean, we got the 12:55. We can go.
Yeah, that's.
Or start wherever you want to start.
So, you said a year ago?
Yeah. What's the biggest like change you noticed as far as like social media in general, as far as to a year ago to now or something?
I discovered social media is a moving organism. Social media is a moving organism in a sense that whatever you learned a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago is irrelevant today.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I learned that the hard way. And I think people feel like just like in college or in school where, you go to college, you go to school for this set thing. And when you go to school for that, you learn that skill set. And once you learn that skill set, you be like, okay, now I'm going into this industry, and I'm like, okay, I got it all figured out. Yeah, I'm good. You know what I mean? But it's kind of like healthcare or law, where there's new laws and new policies coming up, and in college they call it continued education, where they still got to do these mandated courses, even though they did 10 years of school, 15 years of school. They still have to keep it going, and they still have to learn the new trends and ways things are changing. And social media and marketing is the same way.
Yeah, one of the things I noticed from my own experience, it seems to get trickier and harder as time go on, man. Like, I wish personally, I'm always late to like social media. I ain't gonna lie, I'm always usually late to the crowd and stuff. I just, with the knowledge I knew, I wish I just jumped on earlier. It always get trickier, harder. Algorithm changes, and I mean, all that, man.
Yeah, it constantly changes. I mean, the funny thing is, just to tell you how real time I am with it, and I guess the experience of being behind the scenes and knowing what works and what doesn't. When I'm doing these speaking events, like with the real estate community and some of these other really professional communities environments, their marketing department is still behind the curve.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Because like they're reciting information that's dated.
Yeah.
Like even directors of marketing or VPs of marketing. I talked to a girl, she works in the marketing department for I think MGM Grand. And she was explaining it took 7 days to get the words under the post approved by legal. And then another 3 days to get approved by her manager, and which got to get it approved by their VP.
Damn.
And then like they don't even have an in-house like a videographer or a photographer. They pay a marketing company to hire somebody else that actually they have to pay per video of their property. So let's say, for example, Bellagio wants video of their fountain. They own the building. It makes more practical sense to just have a on staff videographer, photographer, and whatever properties they want to film, they just go out. That's all they do all day is get
what I think.
Constant footage of what they need for marketing. No, they pay another company almost $10,000 a video of their own property.
Why they go through all them middlemen?
Because
you think they just stuck on that?
Because the thing about a lot of corporations is that the bureaucracy that makes them successful and delegating tasks and sending it down a chain and a pipeline of responsibilities, that same structure kills them in the marketing world because the marketing world is real time. So it changed today. If you don't adjust,
it makes
you're losing
slow.
money. So for these guys, that bureaucracy still exists. You still got the VP. You still got the marketing director. The director got, associates under them. And those associates report to, like, all that chain slows them down.
Oh, so they still got that old infrastructure.
Yeah, but that's the infrastructure of most businesses, of most corporations. But that infrastructure, they need to find a way in order to create, an emergency pipeline.
Yeah, some more direct.
Yeah, like a direct approach, for example, the president of the United States, he got all of these different chains, but they need a direct line at some situations to make sure they're moving quick enough because that's going to kill them.
That's how that's how it is on social media too. You got to move quick.
It got to move quick.
Move
and these
quick.
guys are not. They got the money. They got the capital. But the amount of money I'm hearing, even from this lady that works in there, the amount of money they're throwing away, and it's mind blowing. Totally mind blowing.
Man, this social media gang got everybody scrambling, bro. Got everybody scrambling. So, how long did it take you to become an expert at social media? How long did it take you to get to that point?
The funny thing is, I'm still not really an expert.
Well, you know what I mean. I
like,
feel like,
you know what I'm saying? To kind of have
teach, so you
right to get to the point where I know enough to actually teach and mentor
Mm-hmm.
other people with it. I would say about 6-7 years knee deep in it. Because I went through like countless YouTube videos, Black Hat Forum, hacker programs, invite only marketing communities. Like I went like knee deep in all of it to kind of know, because I had some of the guys that pay for like the Ty Lopez course or some of these other guru courses.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing that a while back.
Yeah. I mean, it's tempting because it's like, okay, obviously they're successful with it. So you like, they should know. But I've sat down with people that pay thousands of dollars for these courses and they still don't know a fraction of what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you was the first person I spoke to that like knew way more than me. And I ain't gonna say I know a lot, but I know like more than just
the
general
average
people.
person.
Yeah, and you was the first person when we spoke on the phone, man. You was saying, I'm like, damn, I didn't even know that. You was getting real deep in it, and you was probably going light work on the phone.
Yeah. I'm basically trying to cram about 6-7 years worth of knowledge into a conversation or an hour speech or whatever have it. And yeah, that kind of gets a little lengthy because like I guess my wife, she told me kind of like with memes. I guess we're in a situation in social media where there's a meme culture.
Yeah.
And I'm not in that world because I don't really consume a lot of content. Like I try to show love to the audience that follow me, but outside of that, like I don't really, the battle in between, Popeye's chicken and Chick-fil-A. Like I'm not in it. I'm not in any of that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't even know that was a thing. I'm like, that's not my world. I don't consume in that way. If I'm on a site, I'm being very practical with my time, and I'm understanding exactly what's going on. I'm following the trends, not in the trends on the consumer side, the trends on the back end. What Facebook doing? Like Facebook just bought Instagram. What's the next move on the business side? Like I'm on that side, so I'm not on the consumer side.
Yeah, I'm not really.
Right. So these trends. So back to what I was saying with the meme culture. It's difficult to explain to a person what a meme means today when they haven't been involved in all the previous memes prior to. So social media and marketing is that same way. I got to go way back to bring you back current. So it's not like I can just start current and then get you going forward. It's a lot of background we got to cover.
So I never thought about that. So you'll have to go back in order.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
So, like, for example, let's say we discuss all the changes that happened to Instagram within the last update, June 19. With that last update, if I did not know, or this is my first time getting on Instagram, I wouldn't know the importance of that update change.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like, okay, they did an update. But you haven't been on it long enough to know the importance of that change.
That actually happened to me. Remember I told you, like, I've been kind of lazy. I've been off of it for a while.
Yeah.
And when I came back, I just noticed stuff was different.
Yeah.
Like, I have enough knowledge. I can feel when stuff is just quite different. And it was different. I'm like, damn, I only fell back for like a couple months. I came back, man. It was different.
Let me give you another example. So let's say, for example, you've been on Instagram. Let's say this is the first time you started using Instagram stories. From the moment they took Instagram stories from Snapchat, from when they implemented it into what it is today, it's been a ton of changes. Yeah. Because before you couldn't put hashtags on it, you couldn't put a location on it, you couldn't put music on it, you couldn't put any of these different changes or little stickers and tagging friends. You couldn't do any of that. It was just a 15-second video.
Yeah.
So if you're just now getting on it after all of that, and then you're asking me, okay, what do I do with my Instagram stories? I got to go back to where it started to bring you back to current.
Okay. Yeah, I noticed, like, I do give social media, and I do give them credit. They do make it a little more, I wouldn't say easier. They do, what I've noticed, they do start to offer more tools to promote, but at the same time, it gets more competitive.
But that's for, when they add more tools for you to get your voice and your brand out, that's not really for you. You know that, right?
No, I don't.
It's not for you. It's not for you. It's not for us. It's not for the users. It's for them, actually.
Oh, so.
Because here's the thing. They got that new feature where, as a product, you're selling items, you can, create a picture and then put a link directly to what you're trying to sell, right?
Yeah.
You can sell directly from the image itself. Okay, the problem with that, now they can charge brands more advertising dollars for having that capability.
Oh, okay.
So it's never really intended for you. We want to help you help us.
Okay, that makes sense. I mean, that's fair.
So the game is a little different.
Yeah. I mean, it's fair. You on a block, so.
Yeah. You on a block. So I mean, you live on the block. You don't own the block. You gotta play nice. It's like, oh, you help me, I help you, or whatever. But from the marketing side of it, you got to make sure that you understanding what the business directions are to understand what's the best use of your time, efforts, and budget being on social media. Because you can waste tons of time, tons of money doing this day in and day out and get very little results.
Yeah.
So if you're not savvy with the new moves, you're just throwing money at it, hoping it sticks.
Yeah.
Hoping it sticks.
Man, so you got a lot of followers, man. How long did it take you to get to that? You got a nice amount, man.
I got a decent amount, man. But the problem with that, the more I got is the more I understand followers don't mean nothing.
Yes, and then what I noticed too, the more I got, they start taking my engagement down very low.
It does, but that's not even due to necessarily followers. In general, and this is what we were talking about, understanding the big play of the corporations that control what we're actually working with. So what they're doing is they actually want to reduce the organic reach for a reason. So it's not necessarily because of the followers or because you haven't been on as long. You got to understand the bigger play. The bigger play is the biggest gap they can put in between who you can reach on your own, your organic reach, the people, your followers, the people already kind of subscribe to what you're doing. The biggest gap they can put between those people and the people you want to reach, that's their ad money.
I figured.
So they have a vested interest in making sure that gap stays wide, so you need them to pay ads to reach more people. So over time, no matter what you're doing, they're going to keep killing off that organic reach because they about their money.
YouTube, doing that too. Like my subscribers, damn, it don't matter either. I noticed that. It damn, it don't even matter.
Well, even on the AdSense, it don't matter. You only get paid by the views.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have comments and 400, 500,000 subs.
Mm-hmm.
If you're still only getting 1,000 views or 2,000 views, you're not really getting that much of a check from YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So it's only about views.
Yep.
So I mean, the subs look good.
Yeah, it's cute.
It's cute. You got comments. Oh, you got
Yeah.
4K comments.
Yeah.
Oh, that look cute. But that don't really help you get
That's how
paid.
Instagram
though.
started to be, bro. Like the numbers just look good.
The
That's
numbers
it.
just look
It
good.
just
I
look
mean,
good.
and that helps in credibility for as people because people judge you
Yeah,
by those
the average
numbers.
person don't know all this back
Right,
stuff. So
right. They're not privy to all this background stuff
Mhm.
that's going on. They come on your page. They see your numbers 1st of all, because if your numbers don't look good, I'm out.
yeah, they out. Yeah,
I'm out. Like you say, you got 20 followers, you got drone footage. I might like the video, but I'm not following because
Yeah.
it's like shit. I guess you're not really that popping. Like you got 20. I don't want to be 21. I like the video, but now I'm out. Like I'm not just sticking around. Like
got drone footage. Yeah, 21.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You spend $2,000 on professional drone footage, and
Get that
you know
marketing
bells
up.
and whistles. You on the Cayman Islands. You know what I'm saying? To 100 likes.
So I know you. I see on your page you mess with a lot of artists. Like you seem to be affiliated with a lot of artists.
Yeah.
For a newer artist, because most of my fans that's watching this is usually like the kind of like beginner rapper just trying to start off.
Yeah.
Promote. A lot of them always ask about promotion.
Yeah.
So what would you recommend with this crazy social media?
Okay.
That's the step. What would you recommend?
Now, mind you, here's where it gets interesting. So, my Instagram game is different from my Facebook game. My Facebook game is different from a Snapchat game. Everyone is a whole different mechanism in itself. So that being said, is if you're playing an Instagram, doing to the big moves that Facebook and Instagram is making overall, you can't play a dollar game. You can't. Matter of fact, don't even play a number game. Like play a number game to an extent. Like we were saying, numbers matter to an extent. So make sure your numbers look good.
Yeah, for branding.
For branding, for first impressions and things like that. But outside of getting the numbers somewhat in position, you need to focus on impact. See, what they don't tell you is that the big numbers is not a brand. The follows, likes, the views, the comments, all of that, that's cool, but that's not a brand in itself. Impact, leveraging that numbers is the game. The numbers are not the game. The leverage of impact is a game.
Okay, that makes
Because
sense.
if you got 100,000 followers and you throw a concert and nobody comes, nobody cares.
That's what I'll say. When I first started off, like way back, I used to care more about the numbers.
Yeah.
But I got to the point now I care about the impact.
It's the impact. It's the impact.
The more
Because
strength of
in the reverse, sometimes work in the professional world because a lot of people that are very notable in real life that are making money, doing things, connecting with the right people, their social media following is almost nothing.
Yeah, most
like
of them.
100 followers,
Max.
a couple hundred followers. That's it.
Most of them
20
never.
likes. Yeah, 20
Never.
likes, 30 likes. Like they're very low on presentation. But the thing about it, those are the people you need to know. So you got to really be strategic with what you're doing. So you got to kind of understand a person's online presence and in life rapport. Because I've met a lot of people with very little following, but they're absolutely the people you need to know in real life.
They gotta in life they.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They're not renting the Rolls Royce; they own it. And they don't care nothing about social media.
Yeah, they never. I rarely be, but they like.
So that's why I don't necessarily even get in the show game. In the artist community, like it's tempting. They get into the show game because that's part of the culture.
Yeah, it's part of the culture.
But they need to really understand the value of kind of the connectability. You need to start leveraging what you're doing online in person. If you're not doing that, you're losing.
Yeah, you do.
Like you can get thousands of comments, thousands of views. You can get your streaming numbers up. All that's cool, but how many of those people are actually going to come to a concert, actually going to be supportive? And a lot of times artists don't even set up their social media in a way where they can actually communicate and build a community. They're set it up in a way like, I'm fancy looking me.
Yeah.
But like they don't respond to DMs. They don't respond to comments. They don't engage back with people.
Never that Hollywood.
Right. They're super Hollywood.
Bro,
but
a lot of my like core fans that stuck to me since the 500 follower days, I still talk to now.
Yeah.
Like, we DM. Like, shout out to y'all. Y'all gonna see this. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all better comment. Yeah, but comment. Yeah, but yeah, like you got to. Like,
yeah.
Especially when you ain't got that many followers, you got enough time to.
You got enough time, but the funny thing is, as busy as you get, you actually still got to make time.
Yeah.
Because it's like social media is set up in a way where it's like it's really mimic of real life. Because if you meet a person for the first time, that you're just starting the situation of building a rapport with that person. Now, when a month go by, 2 months go by, 3 months go by, you build a stronger rapport. Same thing on social media. You meet that person, they follow you, you follow them back. Like here, like there, comment there, comment there.
Yeah.
As you build over time, that rapport strengthens.
Yeah.
It's the same concept.
Yeah, it is, man. Like, honestly, I done met a bunch of people out here off social media, man.
Yeah.
And we end up getting cool in real life.
Yeah.
But it all at least most of my network out here start off from social media, man.
Yeah. Like I said, everything I do is from social media.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. You do gotta, I think a lot of people, I think at least the artists, from an artist standpoint, because you obviously think different for your entrepreneur. Your mindset is completely, obviously, wired different.
Yeah.
But from an artist standpoint, me being an artist myself, I think a lot of us try to mimic the bigger artists. We don't realize they're at the point where they don't got to talk back. I think we be trying to look up to Drake and them in the wrong ways.
Yeah,
Drake don't got to talk back to them.
Here's what they don't tell you about your big artists, right? So your big artists play a different game. You can't play the game they play.
No.
You think you can, but you can't play the game they play because they're playing a game from already having the leverage and the capital and the backing. Think about it, like Drake, any of these well-known artists, certified artists, these guys are backed by major labels, or even if they're independent, they got a large surplus of resources.
Yeah.
So you as a new artist, just around the corner, got a few nice beats, you got a hook or two, got a song or two, and you're trying to mimic what the big boys. Like, bro, like a lot of your big artists, they have social media managers.
Yeah, they don't even.
They don't even. A lot of them don't even touch their social media. So a lot of times they'll pay a guy, or sometimes they'll have 2 or 3 social media managers, and that's pretty much a 6-figure salary.
Yeah. To
run their social, to make sure the numbers pop, make sure the comments pop.
Doing it too.
Yeah, they're in them. Like they use engagement groups, exclusive only.
Do those groups still?
Yes.
Still popping?
Yeah. So the June update changed the structure of kind of how people can get through with the engagement groups, the automatic engagement groups, the likes, the pushing the engagement, pushing the followers. All of that structure slowed down a bit after the June update, but it still very much exists for the major players because they got the best programmers.
Oh, okay, that makes
them.
sense. Okay,
and a lot of times the reason why you don't notice them is because those guys don't really network outside of that group. So they'll have verified engagement groups.
I could tell.
You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm saying. So this is how you know this. This is how you know it's something up, right?
I could tell who's doing it.
Because you'll get like Drake could do a post. And within the first like 30 minutes, it'd be like 1,000 comments. You'd be like, 1,000 comments. But if you go open up those comments, you'd be like, okay, who is commenting on all this? The first like 15 is all certified accounts. So let me get this straight. Other very known, well-respected people in the entertainment and music industry have the time to catch Drake posts within 20 or 30 minutes of his posting upon doing shows coast to coast, doing music videos.
Famous people as well.
Right. Yeah. So you mean 30 minutes in, they got time to comment on it.
Workout pages in the toilets for that too. The big workout pages? They all be
workout pages, fitness pages. They're all linked into a certain network that's exclusive on.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. Well, I'm pretty sure it was exclusive, but I was noticing that like, okay.
Yeah. But the exclusivity is going to cost you an arm and a leg.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I don't got that.
So you as a little guy trying to mimic what the big guys are doing. See, here's the thing. Facebook, Instagram, they did that little follower purge and shit.
A
few years back, right? So even celebrities, they lost a few thousand, few million followers, right? So the average going rate for 1 million followers before the update, you can get 1 million followers for maybe $6,000. If you lose 1 million followers, you pay $6,000. That's gonna hurt a little bit.
Yeah,
just a little bit. Yeah. Your favorite celebrity, they lose 1 million, they wake up and buy 2 more million.
Yep.
So once again, you can't play.
No, don't. Please, artists, don't try to act. Be humble. Do not try to act like big shot artists.
Coming from the little guy perspective, the underdog perspective, you actually got to get more into impact than numbers.
Yeah. That I don't have the biggest numbers, and I'm not even gonna say I got the strongest impact, but
you got a pretty
I
solid
do got
page.
a decent impact though.
You have a solid page
because I kind of start listening. I didn't always start off like that, but I started listening kind of like to what you were saying, like focus on the strength more.
Yeah,
like the numbers, the rest that'll come, but you know what I mean. So yeah, you do got a point with the impact. A lot of people I see with bigger numbers don't have little to no impact, so. You do got a point.
Yeah, because see, they have little to no impact, but it don't make a difference to those that are already established and they make their money elsewhere. Because all they're playing is a relevance game.
Yeah, that's all they playing. And then too, just to get into not to even get all the way into human psychology, but anybody that's shoved in our face long enough, most people just gonna accept them, whether they're good or not.
Accept it.
We don't have that luxury as an artist.
But here's the thing, the music industry has been doing that for years.
Yeah.
You'll get a favorite song, right? It's not even a favorite song. You get a new song. It hits all the major radio stations. And, they play it for the first week, and you hate it. You're like, this is garbage.
Yeah, in the back of your mind.
How is this even music? And, they'll keep playing it. And they'll play it day in and day out. A week go by, day in and day out. A month go by, day in and day out. And then eventually a month later, you like,
you know what? It's kind
of growing on me. That's intentional. That's all psychology.
Yeah, that's why.
Because they'll give it to the radio station a certain amount of this song. It's like, hey, I know this is garbage. We need to make money off this artist. So this is what you do. I'm gonna give you this trash song, and I'm gonna pay you X amount of money to play this 10 times a day.
Yeah.
I don't care what's going on. I want this played 10 times a day. Here's a budget for it. And they'll play it 10 times a day because they don't play it by what's popping. They play it by who's paying.
Yeah.
So this amount of spins per this amount of time. So about a month of shoving this down people's throat, it should be able to float on its own. That's how they've been doing for years.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing on social media.
Same thing.
Shove it down their throat until they start liking it.
Until they just get familiar.
Make a little challenge on it. You good to go.
So, okay, put yourself in because I know you're around a lot of artists, so put yourself in a new artist standpoint. Let's say if you've been watching My Rap Mentor and you know a lot about social media, as you should. Let's say you know a little bit about social media, been studying.
Yeah.
What would be your first, I'll say as far as getting exposure with little to no budget, and let's say you know a little bit about social media, what would be the first thing you would tell a new artist to at least start? At least the first little step, even if it's minor.
So you're speaking more in general, or you're talking specifically per
Let's just say
site?
Instagram, because I know every site's different. And I believe, especially rappers, typically you probably promote to a younger crowd. So let's just say Instagram.
Okay, so if you're trying to get some traction, starting from a little to nothing, very little budget, and you're trying to play in Instagram arena at this point, honestly, get your numbers right. And I know that's vague to most people. They're like, okay, what does get your numbers right mean? So there's 2 aspects you got to cover with this game. You got to cover image.
Yeah.
And then you got to cover community. Right now in the social media world, you got to be playing on both sides.
Yeah.
So you need the community because you need a solid people that's going to come to concerts, buy your merchandise and things like that. And then you got to get into image because building organic, communicating, building the community, that it's going to take time. But if they come to your page right now, today, they don't care about you just starting yesterday. All they know is that what they see right now ain't popping.
So you got to get that image up first.
Right. So you play a little bit of the number game and then start organically building with people, reaching out to people. If you want to focus on more people in Vegas, go to people that tag themselves in Summerlin, Las Vegas. People that tag themselves in Henderson. People that tag themselves in all the major communities here in Vegas, and interact with those people. Therefore, you are actually making sure you're touching real people and interacting with real people. Once they follow you, this is where a lot of people mess up. When people follow people, they just leave it at that.
Yeah,
I gotta follow. Okay,
they
cool. I got some likes. Okay, cool. And that's it.
They don't
but
engage
you
with them.
remember what we spoke about before? We got to be interacting with these people. And the quickest way to build interaction with people that's following you is that right when they follow you, shoot them a, hey, thank you for the comment, Karen. I appreciate you. Not selling, not check out my website, what you think of this new YouTube video? Don't go into spam mode. Not yet. You gotta romance this a little bit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You gotta
don't go into spam mode.
don't go into spam mode.
Stop being thirsty. Like,
You'll
slow
thirsty.
down.
You'll say this is the
I
first
just met
date.
you. Slow
This
down.
is the first date. Okay,
just
you'll
met.
say you gotta romance it a little bit.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Get a little foreplay in there. You know what I mean?
The dinner.
You're right.
Get to
Right.
know
Let me
you.
know what you about. You know what I'm saying? Show me what you got.
Yeah. Instead of going to spam, but full throttle spam mode, spraying on spams.
That goes full thirsty mode. So with that, you shoot them a comment. Thanks for I appreciate all the support, blah, blah, blah. Just a quick little comment. Oftentimes when people do that, right when they follow them, they'll like that comment. They'll respond back. Oh, no problem. Of course, I like your page. And then like three or four more things.
It's better than text
because
messaging.
you've
it's like visual text
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You're getting that feedback right at the time. Because here's the thing: if you wait a few days later, that person might not be online.
Or the algorithm can
or the algorithm bury it, or whatever.
Push them back,
So
you might not even see
if
them no more.
they're doing engagement real time on your page, if you catch them, you can get a response and then feedback right away. Because their
also,
chances
too,
are
what
still
I've noticed,
there.
The more you engage with a person, social media,
Yeah, they
it
track
tends to
everything.
show them more.
They
it
track
tends to
everything.
show your stuff more to them, and vice versa too.
Yeah.
So, like you said with the relationship thing, you stop talking to people for a while, they fade
Who
away.
are
So
you?
social media is kind of like
this is what they don't tell you about big pages or the real science behind social media and audience. If you got 5,000 solid, legitimate followers or fans or audience on your page, essentially you got 5,000 girlfriends. All of them are going to want a little time, a little personal, little touch from you. You put out a birthday post, right? You know what I'm saying? And like 100 people comment and they say, hey, happy birthday, 100 people. Now, let's say you're busy. You got other stuff going on. You're doing the radio show. You getting all things. You dealing with real life. And you only respond to 50 of those people. Those other 50 are going to feel some kind of way about you not responding. No matter what.
Yeah.
Even if you got a track record of interacting with those people, they're gonna notate. They're gonna notate that.
I got a couple that be getting mad.
Some
they be trying to work, and I'm busy.
But it don't matter. It don't matter. I pump out so much content on social media, bro. Like it's daily. So a lot of people they'll say, "Bro, how are you keeping up with pushing all this content out?"
Man.
And if you're looking at the behind the scenes, that's a full-time job.
Yeah, it is, man.
If you own it, that's a full-time job. But do your audience care?
I don't even think they know or care.
They don't know or care.
One or the other,
but
both.
You got to realize you're in the entertainment arena. So if somebody is watching the Game of Thrones or the Power series or anything else, whatever their favorite show is, right? When it's time for that show to come on, you think the audience care about any kind of issues that they
They
had
don't care that the
before
actor, he
coming
couldn't come
before that
because
show was done?
He hurt his leg down.
So is the show done? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. If it's not, like you could tell people get mad because like even some weeks they'll skip a show, and they'll skip a week before putting out that show.
Yeah.
Oh, people are like, oh, they skipped a week. So you mean this week I gotta wait a whole another week? People are upset.
But even to get back on like the artist when you were saying like they got a brand and get the numbers game. Basically, like you were saying like don't be going into full throttle spam mode, right?
Yeah,
I think artists, you have to stop being selfish. Like you were saying, like engage. Like I think when they follow the person, they have ungenuine intent.
Yeah, well, of course.
Which is cool, but
because they're trying
it comes off.
They're really trying to be focused on themselves.
Yeah, and they don't realize like you might.
It's a give and take.
It is a relationship.
When
you on the small end, you have to become a fan of a person and have a chance to even become a fan of you.
Yeah.
So you have to stop being selfish. Like,
yeah, you know what? Sometimes I'll do just to let you know how serious I am with like making sure I stay kind of connected with my audience. Is that like on holidays like Thanksgiving. You know, everybody, hanging out with family, enjoying nice little turkey dinner, mac and cheese, the whole nine, right? I spend 2 hours for everybody that's on my timeline that posted something Thanksgiving related, saying Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh man, you spent 2 hours. You're a beast, bro. I ain't that. I gotta get like you.
Like, yeah, it's not even. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like, I could easily put up a Thanksgiving post and whoever respond on the comment and be like, hey, thank you, whatever. But no, I want to be real time.
And you got a nice amount of followers, so most people ain't got your follower count. I know, not no regular people. So if he can do it, I don't have no excuse. You as the new artist, you definitely don't have any excuse.
But you got to realize like the behind the scenes is nasty. Like, it's like, you know what I'm saying? People see me on social, they be like, man, you popping, you out there, you meeting people, you like connecting with real estate people, man, you all over the place. And I'm thinking like, bro, if you know the grind, you got to realize, bro, I got a 5-year-old and an 8-year-old girls.
Wow.
And a wife. And dealing with all these meetings and client calls and follow-ups. And I got to still stay up to date on June updates changing.
People probably spam your inbox. Let's
stuff.
work.
I got to relearn the game all over again, readjust, and then speaking at seminars, prepare for speaking, and then networking with new potential people that might not even be paying me, but I'm out there networking in real life on top
a radio
of social
show
media
right now.
Yeah, like what I'm saying, like these opportunities don't just find me. I have to make them. Like what I'm saying, like I did a feature video with an attorney. With that feature video, one of the guys that follow me from that do sports management. Him doing sports management. Now, mind you, the lawyer guy, he's not even a client, but I'm just networking. So I'm out of pocket, gas, time, effort, budget, getting my crew down there, interacting, creating rapport, shoot the video. Everything turns out good. He posts on his page. One of his followers come over is in the sports management with professional athletes. He was like, bro, I see what you're doing, man. You know what I'm saying? You was just in the video with my guy. So, you know what I'm saying? Let's set up a meeting. All right, cool. I still got to make time for that. Everything else is still floating.
Yeah.
I still got to make time for that. Free meeting out of my time. I'm going down there meeting, good meeting. He's like, bro, you know what I'm saying? You need anything dealing with the teams, just let me know. I was like, all right, cool. That guy was like, hey, man, I know this chick. She's looking for somebody that knows about video marketing and social media marketing. I think you'll be good with it. She's in real estate. I was like, all right, cool. I talked to her. She was like, yeah, we got this speech, you know what I'm saying, with the real estate brokers, and I think you might be good for it. I mean, we've already used up our budget for the event, but, I mean, if you want to speak, pro bono, then you can do it. I was like, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I'm saying? Because here's the thing. I'm long game. Networks run everything.
Yeah.
If you can't network, if you can't get your team together and build relationships with people, you're going to lose. You need a team. So that being said, I'm like, oh, fuck it. You going to introduce me to a new network of people that didn't even know who the fuck I was? Fuck it.
And speaking of building team, too, that goes back to artists, too. Like, I think it's hard for a lot of artists to build teams because most artists are selfish. Yeah. So, like he said,
they're trying to mimic the big artists.
Yeah, like he said.
They're trying to mimic the big artists.
Yeah, like,
they think they can play the standoff, look at me game that the other artists are playing.
No one needs you. You don't pay nobody bills.
You can't play that game. That's not. Those guys are already established. You not. They don't know. People don't know who the hell you are. So a lot of people sit back on social media and think social media is just going to get them the popping level of Drake. Bro. People don't understand that social media is not the game. Your numbers, your followers, your views, all that, that's cool. Even if all that stuff is popping, you got the biggest audience. That's not a brand. That's not.
Yeah.
So that being said is the numbers itself is not the brand. The influence in real life of what people think about you and your brand, what you're doing, the investment of knowing you. You know, most artists on social media are not popular because of their music. You know that, right?
Yeah.
They're popular because of the persona that they're creating on social media. What's 50 Cent thing? He just go pick on people. That's all he do. Just fucking, you just meme about this person. Oh, yeah, this person's in the news. Oh, yeah. Hey, shout out to this person right here. Hey, what are you doing? Get your shit together. You just start talking shit. That's his thing. When's the last time he put out a new video and then people were just like, oh, yeah, that new 50 Cent track on social media is popping. Like, nobody is even checking for it like that. But they'll jump quick on that meme he put out about Future.
Yeah.
Oh, that meme he put out about Cardi B. Like, oh, shit, what did he say about, oh, man, dang, he talking hella shit. Like man, check this out.
Yeah, like, and two things I noticed, too, I think what, like, the underground artists get confused from is you have your, like you said, your online brand, your image, but then you also have your, like, image with the industry behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think they take their online persona and sometimes they bring it to the business part behind the scenes, and it don't match.
It's different.
Yeah.
It's different. How you do the business element of building your brand is entirely different.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure
it's light and day.
Like you use 50. Like, okay, he'll bully online. I'm pretty sure he ain't bullying the CEO of like Power
he cutting deals.
Yeah, you know,
he cutting deals. He got attorneys and lawyers and accountants. He was like, hey man, these paperwork good? we good, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? You going through it? What's my percentage? He own his business in that business setting. For example, I be on social media. Not all of my posts are business and you know, social media stuff. I got stuff with my daughters and kids, and I got all these personal elements on my social media. If you notice on my page, I don't have one video where I say hire me.
No, you don't.
I don't got one video where I say go to my website.
No, you don't.
Go to my brochure. Check me out here. If you ever need followers, if you ever need a branding strategy, check me out. I don't have one video of that. My phone number's not even listed. I don't have no website, no cards, no whatever. I'm talking even legitimate business people still have to ask me, oh, do you have a business card? No. Oh, well, how I reach you? Or you can reach me on social media.
Hey, I'm gonna take that idea. I'll take that. I'll take that.
Because that does a couple of different things, right? Psychologically, that lets them know, like, okay, you really about this life. And then the other half of it, they'll be like, so he's doing well enough to not need traditional advertising, to not need a business card or flyers.
I mean, you kind of using the forward-thinking way, like obviously business cards.
Yeah,
honestly, I put them in my wallet, and they just mat away, and I forget.
But in a business world, people still spend thousands of dollars on business cards.
Yeah.
See what happens when you buy 5,000 business cards. You know, we'll give them all out. You know, you give a couple hundred out a day. Let's say you're going hard, right, in the business world, which is hard in the business world. Means like you're in network mixers, and you know, you're at the after hours little, brunchings, and you know, all of those little business elements where you can kind of, you know, try to mix and mingle with other business people. And you know, you here's my card. Hey, here's my card. Let's say you do all of that. You get about a couple hundred cards a day. Out of a couple hundred cards a day, you might get 20 people that actually keep it more than a couple days.
Yeah.
And then you might get maybe one call. Yeah. Maybe think about it. Maybe think about it. Meanwhile, I got the VP of this company that you're trying to reach following me. I DM him directly. So now I don't even got to go through all the channels of going through his assistant.
He can see you too.
Yeah. I don't have to go through his assistant and, oh, do you have a legitimate business? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me see if he knows who you are. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. He doesn't know who you are. You know, just make an appointment and we'll see. I don't have to go through all of that. I go straight to the source. Get them connected. Once I go through that, the rest of it don't even matter.
So man, like I don't even want you to give them all this right now. I'm gonna have to definitely have you come on like directly, like, well, not directly, but some more time. So matter of fact, because we talked mostly about IG today, I gotta maybe have you come on and talk about Facebook. I know little to nothing about
Yeah,
Facebook.
Facebook is another game. Yeah.
So tell them where to follow you at. Tell them where to reach you.
You can find me, Marcus at Work, on IG, Facebook, SM Consulting and Branding. Personal page, Marcus D. Miller, Las Vegas. You'll see a picture of this face. LinkedIn, I'm 500 plus connections on LinkedIn. If you in the professional arena, as Marcus D. Miller. Snapchat, I don't even worry about the rest of that. I'm focused on touching people in real life.
All right, man. Y'all already know where to find me. It's your boy Eric Stackz, ERIC _STACKZ. Frequent.